So what sparked my interest in Easy Out Weave was that I've worn weave and hair extensions for quite some time, and the part that I hate the most is when it's time to take it out. It just takes entirely too long. I always have to have somebody to help me. I've cut my hair out before by mistake, and so when I heard that there was a product that got rid of all those problems and could be taken out, instantaneously, it was a no-brainer for me. I really wanted it in my hair. I was super excited to try it out. So at this point, I've been wearing Easy Out thread for close to 4 months. I've been able to do all the regular treatment that I normally do when I wear hair extensions. I've washed it, conditioned it, deep conditioned, I've curled it, wand it, I've flat ironed it, blow dried it on high heat, I've traveled with it, I've swam, I exercise with it on. It can be pulled, it can be manipulated into whatever styles that you need to. There really were no restrictions. I've been in various climates and nothing has happened to the thread. The tracks are still really secure and it's been perfectly comfortable.
Hi, I'm Tonya Cryer, and today I'm here to tell you about my experience with the Easy Out Weave. The reason why I decided to try the Easy Out Weave was because I was interested in the product. I'm looking for something that's going to be less stress on my client's hair, something that's going to save time. It takes a while to do that service, so time is money, and I just wanted to try something different. When I first picked up the Easy Out thread, I thought, how's this going to work? Because it's kind of slippery, it has a little elasticity in it, but it made me interested because I thought, wow, it's soft, and I thought this being wrapped around my client's hair might be good for it. My technique for using the Easy Out was a little bit different from my normal weaving technique. The thread's a little bit different, so I had to be a little bit more mindful of the tension I was using. You really don't need that much. You don't have to pull it as much as you would the nylon thread, but it had excellent grip. Now I'm going to show you how to use the Easy Out weave technique. I'm going to show you my installation process. Okay, I'm actually installing this Easy Weave right now as we speak. I'm using the thread. And when you're installing the Easy Weave, you're going to need to start with a needle that has a nice size hole in the head because the thread is a little bit thicker than the average nylon thread, and it makes it a little bit difficult to go through. So that's something that you should be mindful of. Also, when you're threading, try not to put too much tension when you thread because you're going to put tension on it as you sew too. So what I always like to do is start at the end of my track and lock the thread in, put my needle in first, just so I can get a good grip and nice foundation on it. And I'm going to weave the thread through the track, and then you're going to start with the application. So I'm going to start from the end right here. I always like to lock my end in really good first, so the needle is actually going through the weft. I'm not going to do that throughout the whole sewing of the track because it tends to put tension on the thread, and it makes it also a little bit harder to go through. But you want to hold the thread so that you can keep good control of it. And I like to use longer threads because I like to move fast. But for some of you, you might want to make the thread a little bit shorter just so it's more easy for you to manage. So now I like to do a box stitch also. Starting this track, I'm going to put the box stitch pretty close together. And then as I move throughout the weft, I'll space it out just a little bit more. If you notice, I did put a little bit of tension on it because I do want it to be tight right there at the end. Tight meaning I want the weft to stay in place. The thread is not actually tight. You see it's not pulling anywhere on her hair. And I'm holding the weft and the thread at the same time, again, for control and for ease of getting the thread through the weft. Now it looks like I have my thread double-stranded, but actually it's single strand. And as I come along the weft, I'm going to release the thread so that it's still single all the way through. Normally when using a nylon thread, you like to double it because you want more support, but with the easy out, you don't need that. So it ends up making the thread go a long way, last a lot longer than the normal thread. And you can see it is stretching as I'm pulling it. So you just want to be mindful not to pull it too tight. You still want to have a little bit of give in the thread, so that the track, can be secured, but not too tight that if you comb it or brush it, then it snaps. You still want it to be able to have some mobility. And if I'm right-handed, I like to move left to right. It makes it a lot easier for me, but I also can go from right to left, and I will do that too. You want to make sure your stitches are about a ½ inch wide. If you're pressed for time and you want to go a little bit longer, a little bit wider, you can make a wider stitch of about 1 inch or 1.5 inches. But just for me, I like my extensions to last as long as they can until it's time for me to take it out. So I don't like the wide stitches. Now if the thread gets stuck like it did right there, you just go in and you just pull it through. Normally, like the length of the thread that I have, the length it is right now, is going to allow me to be able to sew on at least 2 wefts. I might even be able to get 3 out of it. But for those of you who are first time working with this thread, I suggest you use a short piece so that way it doesn't, until you get your momentum of using it, and that way it won't get stuck on you and you won't get knots and things like that. There is oil inside the thread, which makes the texture of it really, really nice, and it makes it really pliable, and that means that it's going to actually protect the hair, whereas a nylon thread sometimes tends to cut into it. So we should have much less breakage with the easy out because of this protective base. Now when you go through the ends, like I like to go through the end, and it's just a little bit harder for the needle to go through, but that's why I have needles that have a really nice point on them, because it makes it a lot easier and it saves a lot of time too, instead of having the dull needles that won't go through the weft, because if you don't go through the ends of the weft, sometimes they can flip up on you on the ends, and that's what you don't want. So right here at the end, I'm going to put my needle through the track. I'm going to do it a couple times just so that it locks in really good. Well, this is the area where my thread was double, so I'm going to just pull it out because I don't need to double on the end right there. I'm going to go in about 3 times just to make sure that track is not going to come loose. Go back and forth between saying weft and tracks because different people call them different things, but it's basically the same thing. The weft of hair is being sewn to this track braid. also, when I do my knots, I like to put them really, really close to the base so that there's no loose ends hanging. And make sure that it's nice and secure. So after taking out the easy out of Brittany's hair, her hair was in excellent condition. I mean, she's got great hair anyway. The thread was so easy to come out. We didn't have to cut anything, and she didn't lose any hair at all because it just came out so easy. I would recommend Easy Out because I like the concept of the Easy Out thread. I like the fact that the thread was pliable, it moved, it stretched a little bit, it was easy application for me, and just knowing that when she comes back to have the weave removed, it's going to be that much easier and it's going to just save that much more time. So in regards to the difference of the Easy Out thread and the nylon thread, the Easy Out thread, I liked it because it was very pliable, it stretched, I felt like it had great durability, and when I first removed the Easy Out, it came out so easy, it just snapped, and I just thought that was so great because I know that that's going to save a lot of time, and time is money. And we definitely want to make things faster these days, but we also want to make sure things are still sufficient too. So I thought it was a sufficient product, and I would use it again on my clients, definitely.
Hi, I'm Brittany Jenkins, and I just had my hair fully installed with the Easy Out weave. For me, the application was totally seamless. I didn't really notice a difference between how my stylist was applying it. My braids are secure. My hair feels really secure. It's not too tight. You know, sometimes the thread is way too tight and you have like a migraine after you're done with your hair. I don't have that. It feels very comfortable. I can pull it, I can flip it. It's perfect. I want to give a special thank you to Tonya Cryer of Miss Tonya's Hollywood Hair Studio. She did a wonderful job. My hair is fabulous and I love it so much. So ladies, if you want to get your hair done with a great stylist who knows how to use Easy Out Weave perfectly, go see Miss Tonya Cryer. And also a special thank you to Easy Out Weave because without it, I mean, come on, who wants to take that hair down for hours? Thank you.